Really? Hey, how you doing? It's me one more time again. I wanted to talk to you about Yelp. It's one of those things. I know we're gonna chit chat about it. Oh, look at that. Hey, Biggin. I'm doing a little work right now. You mind if I have the room?
I'll go way over there.
You gonna hang out right there? All right. Can you close the door for me?
Yeah.
All right. This won't take long.
I'll lock it.
Thank you. All right.
What's the kids?
They're not out yet.
What happened?
Yeah. Hey, give me a little bit, okay? Because I'm having a conversation with some folks. All right?
Yep.
All right. I'll be right with you. All right. So,
I'm working.
you're working too?
Yep. Get out. You get out.
Okay.
Get out.
We're going to try and make this work. All right. So, here's the thing. It's a good thing this is for me and my folks because, if I was trying to do marketing right now, this wouldn't work. All right, so here's the deal. There's three things I want to tell you about Yelp, and it's because we're going to talk about Yelp on a regular basis, and I want to make sure that you understand where I'm coming from and a couple of good things to know about Yelp.
You talking?
I'm talking. Hanging with me? Yeah. All right. So there's three things about Yelp that you need to know. Couple of them are need to know. One of them is just nice to know. The first thing, and probably the most important thing to know about Yelp, is that Yelp is for Yelpers. And what I mean by that is sometimes someone goes and leaves a review for you, and because you'll ask for a review from Yelp or Google or something like that.
Yeah.
And well, let mommy in.
Mommy.
Bring your city. Let's try and find Marshall and
I'm going to work.
come on, Bubby. Let's go find
I'm going
the Paw Patrol.
to work. I'm going to work.
Getting so much work done.
Yeah. Hey,
Come on.
Jude.
Let's go find Marshall and Sky and Zuma and all of the doggies.
All right. Come
Can you
on.
grab your city, please?
Come on, big man.
Do you want me to grab it or are you going to grab it?
I got.
You got it?
Yeah. I'm going to work.
Thanks. Like I said, it's a good thing we're nice like that. All right, where was I? Oh, we're talking about Yelp being for Yelpers. All right, so if someone leaves you a review, nice review, you're like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, because you know how hard it is to get someone to leave you a review. And then you go to Yelp because you want to look at it, see your name up in lights, and you don't see anything there. And you're like, hey, what happened to my review? And then you notice way down in the bottom, there's a little thing that says reviews not recommended. And you go down there, you click, and you're like, really? And you say to yourself, not so much. Not kind of happy about that. Well, you need to understand that that's because Yelp is for Yelpers. They have some kind of concept where their thing is protecting the credibility of the platform. Yeah, okay, whatevs. I think the big issue is that if someone is not active on Yelp, they don't know if you're real or Memorex. So if they don't know that, then chances are you can be down there. They won't not list your review. They'll just put it where people can't see it. So here's my suggestion to you. First of all, understand that. If you have on your site, what you should have on your site, something where you can send people to that says, hey, here's the links to go to my review spots, Google, Angie's List, Yelp, whatever, and they click Yelp, then chances are they're Yelp people. But if someone goes to Yelp and leaves you a review and, you get that special treatment, and it's because the person is not really active on Yelp, and you can tell by looking at their profile, it tells you what they do and such like that, then tell them to start being active on Yelp. And all they have to do that is put the Yelp app on their phone. And as they go about their normal business, if they're going to the local gas station, check in. If they're going to get their hair done, check in. If they're going to do anything that's in any establishment anywhere, check in. And over time, what you'll see is their concept, the way Yelp will look at them is, okay, you're real. And then those reviews that they left, especially if yours is the only one they did, will come out of Yelp purgatory and make its way back. Do I know this to be a fact? Nah, not really. It's one of those, I'm pretty sure it works that way. However, as opposed to doing nothing and leaving it down there, it's worth a shot. And besides, I told you, only ask those people that you're nice with, your regulars who come in. So something to think about. Okay, here's something that's a small thing, but it's a big thing. If you have a Yelp profile, you should claim it. And yeah, there's a downside to claiming a Yelp profile because you're going to get a bunch of phone calls from a bunch of people that you'd rather just punch across the pow, stop calling me. Because although they'll say they're sales coaches, what they really are sales people. Their job is to sell you on their pay-per-click advertising platform. Now, my theory about their advertising profile, we'll get into that in a second. But they're going to call you. And we'll get into that in a second because that's the third thing I want to talk about. But you got to claim that profile. And the reason you got to claim that profile is because this convoluted thing called the internet works all kinds of mysterious ways. And there's a few people online that I refer to as the pachyderms. You may think of them as, Google, freaking Apple, Amazon, the big folks. And they're, always slugging it out. Well, if you're a teeny tiny person like me and you, chances are what they do doesn't affect us very much, but every now and then it does. And one of the things that does affect us, and this is why you need to claim your profile and then go in and update your information and make sure it's accurate, is because of a small thing called voice search. And you say, voice search, well, that's a hard left turn, didn't think you were going to take. Well, yeah, it's me too. But it's like this. If you go, hey Siri, and ask it any kind of location-based question that has to do with a business. Hey, where's the nearest garage in, near me? Something like that. If you say, hey, Google, it's going to search a different spot for information. It's going to go to Google to get that information. If you happen to say, hey, Siri, it's going to go to Yelp. Yeah. How sideways is that? It's going to go to Yelp to get that information. Well, if you haven't been in the habit of making sure that your information is up to date, listing all the services you provide, your hours, the information that is keyword rich and all that kind of stuff in your description, you're missing out on an opportunity. Now, whether that makes a difference to you, I don't know. But I would say that if you tend to, in the course of doing business, ask people, hey, how did you hear about me? And enough people say, oh, Yelp. Then chances are it's probably a good idea for you to make sure that your listing is taken care of and that you're taking care of your voice search on the Apple side of the house. Eventually, Apple's going to do their own thing, but for right now, Yelp it is, which means claim your listing, make sure your information is up to date, and keyword rich. Now, the last thing I want to talk to you about Yelp is because Yelp is business, big time business, and they're going to try and nickel and dime you every chance they get. So for instance, I told you that you need to claim your listing so that you can update your information. And they know that you're going to claim your listing because you want to update your information. And as soon as you do, you're giving them permission to try to sell you on their advertising platform, because that's all Yelp really is an advertising platform. Their job is to find folks who want stuff and point them in your direction and then hopefully charge you for it. They have to give you a little something for free just to get you into the ecosystem. So in some extent, your product. It is what it is. Google does the same thing. Anyway, the thing that I want to point out is I do not believe in paying Yelp money. However, that's not because I can't think of a use case where it makes some sense. So here's my, calculation. For me, paying Yelp any kind of money really comes down to price point. And it's really a dollars and cents kind of thing. If you understand what you're paying them for, they have a couple of different things. They've got the Yelp pay-per-click program, and then they've got Yelp deals. Now, the pay-per-click program is pretty straightforward. You pay them $300 to $500 a month, and they're going to send a certain number of people are going to click on your ad because they're going to position you in such a place where you're more prominent and all that good stuff. And then those people are going to click and then come see you. Well, remember, you're only paying for them to click. After that, you got to do something with it. So if you suck on the phone, if you're not good at closing, if you're not any good at getting people to go, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to come see you, well, then maybe it's not going to be worth it to you. So the math you need to do is this. How many transactions of yours is it going to take for you to make that make some sense. And as far as make it make some sense, there's a guy named Gary V and Gary Vaynerchuk, and he had an interesting concept, but I'm a little wary of it. It was like, you know what? It's probably worth about $400 to find out whether or not it's going to work for you. The problem is they won't let you try it out once. They try to lock you in for a 6-month bid, and that means that you're not really paying $300 to $500. You're paying $18,000 to $3,000, and that's a different kind of calculation if you know what I'm talking about. However, that's what you're trying to figure out. If you have a service like you're you do microblading and you're pulling in 400 bones a pop, okay, probably easier to make that call because it only takes 1.5, maybe 1.5 transactions to make your money back. If you're a massage therapist, you're charging $60 per hour, then all of a sudden you got to do 5 bodies before you're paying for it. So again, if you're not good at closing, it's not just how many clicks you get, it's how many clicks turn into actual business. You got to have to figure that one out for yourself. Me personally, I'm like, unless you get a majority of folks calling you that tells you that they heard of you through Yelp, try and go without. Just the way it is. How do you deal with all those phone calls you're going to get? Put them on caller ID and just don't call. Just don't pick up the phone. That'd be my suggestion. There's one other thing, just in case you weren't sure, you didn't know. You say to yourself, okay, I don't want to do their pay-per-click thing. Maybe I'll just do a Yelp deal. How do you feel about Groupon? Because that's what a Yelp deal is. Exact same thing. The only thing I don't know, and I don't care enough to dig into it, I just want to make sure you understand it, is I don't know whether or not they do that 50% bloodletting split that Groupon does. Whatever it is, I'm just not a fan. There's one other thing I wanted to show you in case it comes up in conversation, because this is the thing. There's like a handful of things that I think are worth paying Yelp for. If you're getting some love and attention off of Yelp, and you're like, you know what, yeah, let's do that. Pay to get this kind of stuff off. All these competitors get their ads off of your page. That'd be worth paying for if I was getting a love for it. But you can see I don't get a whole lot of love from Yelp. I do it because you're supposed to have one of those because Google's looking to see what you got going on. So since your online footprint needs to have certain things on it, there it is. But since I'm not getting a whole lot of love out of Yelp, they're not getting a dime out of me. But there is one other thing that's supposedly free, but it's not really free. You see this thing right here? Get messaging leads. And you see I have it turned off, right? Well, the reason that mine is turned off is because, this right here, this is why they show up in the search results so much, because they're like Home Advisor or Thumbtack or any of those other lead aggregators. Because basically what happens is you think that if you just click that, because it says it's free, and it is. I mean, you hit that bad boy right there, turn on messaging. I don't think so. You turn that on, and hey, I'm interrupting my previously recorded portion of this because I realized there was something I wanted to show you about this little bad boy right here, because I talked about it, but I don't think you got the full meal deal to quite understanding what I was talking about. So I'm going to show you so you can see what I was talking about, because I explained it, but I don't know if you got it. And because we're nice like that, I want to make sure you got it. So here's the deal. I'm not going to say anything, just watch. Yep, turn it on. Down. Okay, get message leads on. Cool. Response time. So you say to yourself, that means to me that I've got to make sure that if someone messages me, boom, I come back so I can get that response time up, which is a good thing. You do. And it's supposed to response rate, how many people you respond to. Now, hold on, Biggin. Hold on. Now, here is the Paul Harvey. The rest of the story, if you're old enough to know what that means. Boom. Okay. Let me hit my refresher. Hook about the up. All right. You see this bad boy right here? See, it wasn't there before, right? All right. Yeah, you feel chest puffed out, thinking like you got it going on. Now, here's the okie doke. If I were to click that right there, share a few details so we can schedule your consultation. So far, cool, right? Cool. Okay. What type of project are you looking to start? And of course it tailors it to me. Let's say web design. What kind of service do you need? Let's say website maintenance. How soon? As soon as possible. So far, no problem at all. Other details that you need to share? Let's say nope. Next. Would you like to hear from similar businesses? You see how this is already pre-checked? Most people are click happy. Next thing you know, boom. So if I do like that, then it's coming straight to me. But in reality, most people aren't going to pay attention to that. They're going to be like, sure, I want to hear from 2 or 3 more businesses. Boom. So remember what I told you. If you're not paying them, I'm almost done. Yeah, I know. Disregard. If you're not paying your product, simple as that. All right. We now return you to your regularly scheduled video. Can you pay for this? Of course you can pay for that. Look at this. They got all kinds of things you can pay for. And of course, you have to take a look at whether or not your business model makes sense for you to go that route. Your phone number is already there. Your website's already there. Your address is already there. But if you want to make things easier for people to get a hold of you, hey, you know the deal. Anyway, Yelp. There's goodness to it. There's some, I'm not going to call it badness, but there's some buyer beware going on there. If you understand what you're working with, you'll be fine. If you think it's universally bad, you're wrong. If you think it's nothing but it's the best thing to come along since sliced bread, you're also wrong. You just need to understand what you're working with. And if you understand what you're working with, there's some goodness to be had there. And that's all there is to it. So as we go forward and do what we have to do, if it comes to you asking me about Yelp and whether it makes sense, we'll take a look at what you got going on. And we'll do some number crunching and stuff like that and see whether or not it's worth trying. And then we'll have a chat with one of those salespeople and see if we can't finagle a thing or two so you can try it, because their job is to get you on board. And sometimes they're a little bit pliable depending on how much pressure they're under. Kind of like a salesperson at the end of the month. You know, they'll make a deal that they wouldn't make at the beginning of the month. Well, no. If you got some haggle skills, haggling might be what you need to do. All right. This has been a weird video. I think I'm going to leave all that stuff at the front on there because, like I said, this is for my peeps. So it gives you a little peek behind the curtains, so to speak. Oh, man. Grandkids. Gotta love them. All right. I used to have a podcast. And at the end of the podcast, I can't do it here because it's video, but at the end of the podcast, I would always say the same thing. May you live as long as you want, never want as long as you live. May you live to be 100 and me 100 minus a day, so that I'll never know that nice people like you have passed away. Go forth and do good things. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.